do watch Mcebo.
Dlamini said things during his interview.
Nobody cares about us. That's why today you will have political leaders and political parties attacking South Africans for standing up for their country.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at this update of this podcast review. But this one by Podcast and Chill, where they hosted Mcebo, Dlamini, really resonated rather with a lot of people, and especially in the time that South Africa finds themselves in. Now it just talks about people, and it just woke up another element that a lot of people have lost because of the recent, blurred lines when it comes to what is it exactly that South Africans want, what is it that politicians can offer, and of course the general future of South Africa, and also looking back at his own life and how he also at some point led a movement called Fees Must Fall, that was also hijacked by certain elements later on. He later also faced time in prison because of that movement. So maybe he's the right one to speak about these topics at this time. Take a look at this. Some people took out some nuggets from it. Of course, there will be those that will say, no, Mcebo is not the one to even talk because he is in between two countries to speak with. Take a look at these reviews and I'll be back with the rest of the commentary. What are your thoughts?
A political party, a political leader standing against the people, then from who are you taking the mandate from? You begin to realize that these people are not what they've been projecting themselves to be. They are gradually coming out to say, I'm not for you. There's not, it should never happen under no circumstances that a political leader of South Africa takes the sides of non-South Africans. For what good reason? How can you, as the father of your children, side with an outsider over your own children? Not unless we are saying those are not your children.
Dlamini said things during his interview on Podcast and Chill that make me question his credibility this time around. Before going there, let me say this. Dlamini played an important role in this country with his generation during Fees Must Fall. No one will ever take that away from him. On top of that, the system during that time tried to destroy him for 4 years. According to reports, he appeared before the magistrate more than 30 times. However, Dlamini said this during his interview on Podcast and Chill. 1. Some political leaders have turned against SA citizens. An intelligent person like Dlamini will know very well that what he's saying is not true. Dlamini singles out the former president Mbeki on this one. Those of you who've been listening to Mbeki will agree with me that Mbeki has never said that there's no problem of illegal immigrants in this country. What Mbeki disagrees with is the manner in which March and March and its associates are dealing with the issue. Mbeki has a problem with people taking the law into their own hands. Simply put, Mbeki is actually saying March and March and its associates must direct their fight to the government of South Africa, not foreign nationals. 2. Dlamini says that ideology does not make sense and people will not eat ideology. Let me say this, if the Dlamini of Fees Must Fall was to hear what the Dlamini of today is saying, the Dlamini of Fees Must Fall would be very surprised by the utterances of the Dlamini of today. I promise you this, it was ideology that inspired the Dlamini of Fees Must Fall to see it fit to fight universities during that time against the injustice that his fellow students experienced while Dlamini was still at Wits. It was ideology that made Dlamini's mother to join the Umkhonto weSizwe, the military wing of the ANC during her time. It was ideology that made Dlamini's mother participate in the 1976 Soweto uprising. Dlamini also talks about Hitler building Germany. That was ideology. I will leave it right there. 3. Dlamini says that education in South Africa has produced stupid intellectuals. According to reports, Dlamini holds multiple qualifications. Is he a stupid intellectual? Dlamini is also saying education is producing sophisticated hobos. Is Dlamini a sophisticated hobo? Here's a question. Do you think Dlamini would be holding the position he holds at Orlando Pirates if it wasn't for his education? You decide.
These politicians, Julius Malema, Mbeki, Ndlozi, they're not saying anything. Each time people are rising, they come in, hey, you're xenophobic. What about whites? There's this whataboutism, which is a problem in South Africa. Whenever you're trying to fix A, but what about white economy? I mean, I'm sorting this issue.
I don't endorse this message. The one time South Africans have decided to come together and speak with one voice. Other political parties don't know where they stand. They don't know if they want to support the movement or they are against the movement. Others have really been for the movement and they are continuing to be for the movement. But there is one organization that is stoking flames of tribalism. They are the ones who brought the tribalism conversation to the front. And you need to ask yourself, when South Africans are united and speaking in one voice, why is one organization wanting to divide us along tribalist lines? Why is one organization trying to sway us to divide us as a nation? And a lot of education is being thrown around, right? And if you actually, I've always found it hard to communicate this. And if you do watch Mcebo, I think he articulated quite well. There's an issue of being educated, right? The education being divorced from the lived reality. If you are so educated, yet you cannot think of solutions that will immediately assist what you and your people and your community are facing in the right now, like how useful is that education? Education that makes you be idealistic, right? And you're thinking about all these political theories that are so divorced from the lived reality of South Africans. How useful is that education?
No, they'd rather see South Africans fight among themselves than to condemn illegal immigration. Shout out to EFF for the propaganda.
My dear brothers and sisters in Kwerakwerakhood, we need to stop forcing South Africans into Pan-Africanism. Whether or not South Africa is to be a Pan-African nation or respond to this whole debacle in a Pan-Africanist way is for South Africans to decide. We can't dictate that to them. It's theirs to decide. Malema can say it, but you can't say it. But it does not necessarily have to be that South Africa has to be the center or the proponent or the custodian of that Pan-Africanism. Because here's the honest truth. When Black South Africans hear us say all these things, or talk about how in the past we did this for each other and they really, not even in a malicious way, they really don't care because they're looking at it from a perspective of what does Pan-Africanism have to offer me right now? What does Pan-Africanism give me right now? Because from the way things are looking, they stand to lose more than they gain. We want to be in their country, we want to be in their homes, we want to be living in their community. But what do they stand to gain from it? I think that they see it as if they stand to gain more from nationalism, from standing with their South African identity than they do from standing with the Pan-Africanist identity. Because realistically speaking, Pan-Africanism is a long-term solver. It needs to be implemented now, of course, but the results are most likely going to be seen in the long term. And they want to see short-term solutions, which is right now, what does this Pan-Africanism of yours have to offer me and offer South Africa? And from the way they see it, it's as simple as remove a foreigner, South African gets a job. That is now a national solution to a problem that's happening among South Africans.
To Mcebo, Dlamini, to what he had said, the podcast Kamekji, not sure when, but I watched the episode yesterday. Mcebo is saying at 4:10, when we are in class attending lectures, we see cows walking by, we skip cow dung when we're walking on campus. Let's clarify this, President. You're misleading South Africa. In fact, you're undermining Forte, that you must know. One, Forte is an agricultural school, has an agricultural school, in fact. Also, Forte has got a dairy farm. Obviously, you love cows when you have a dairy farm. However, lecture rooms, the campus and the farm are far separated to each other. So therefore, it's not possible to see inkomo ihambe yadini yesikolo, to see inkomo uhlele eklasini wathendile. Uyaxoka bra, sixoxa abantu.
Yes, Mzansi, I want to quickly reflect on Mcebo Dlamini's interview. Shout out to you, Mark G, man. Mcebo Dlamini, this guy reminds us the problems that we have, and he keeps on reminds us that we shouldn't change what we believe on. Let us not be neoliberal. Let us not turn back from our struggles and assume that what Mbeki is saying is correct, and also opening our eyes as to say, look at the Ndlozi guy, the doctor, who now is a new version of Mbeki, all of them, they want to be these intellectual fools, whatever you may call. And another thing that Mcebo Dlamini said, a very important thing, was the march and march does make difference in South Africa. Government now is waking up, is solving issues, the affairs of the states, because of march and march. But there are political parties, that doesn't want to stand up against illegal immigrant. Whereas now, Mcebo also said, how can you let your children being abused, and then you say, no, because of they were abused by my brother, it's okay? Why would you say that? Only if those kids are not your children. That's what he said to the EFF. So really, I appreciate him, and also told us that the ANC is rotten as hell. The ANC is not for us. ANC doesn't give a damn about us, and the upcoming leaders are twisting to the core. They are no longer following what they stood for before. And now, more especially this thing of illegal immigrants and march, as well as march is going to be hijacked tomorrow. So we must all be careful and be aware of there are people that are going to hijack march. As he also said to us that even the Christmas Falls, there were people who are benefiting, there were people who were against march. So I truly appreciate Mcebo Dlamini, and took note of, if you are not in politics, you are not a member, you are able to speak your mind.
Yo guys, this episode here, Mcebo Dlamini, this was really informative, especially politically. Listen to this.
Leadership is a calling. Leaders are born.
Okay.
My mom used to say, apartheid never kept people that it never wanted to use in future.
Stay with him.
All the revolutionaries were killed. All of them. Sobukwe, Biko, Krizani, they were killed.
Those were the real revolutionaries.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the thoughts and the reviews coming in there. As you have seen, please also do follow them on various social media platforms, especially TikTok, to get a broader sense of their contribution. Mcebo shared a lot of nuggets in there. It's sad though, because once upon a time, Untantla Lux also spoke this passionately, and yeah, we know where that story ended. Let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.